End of the month already? Boy, how time flies. Today we'll be looking at Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD.
Born Jared Higgins, Juice WRLD is an American singer, songwriter, and rapper straight out of the Chicago area. Relatively new to the popular music scene, his sound is described as genre-bending and particularly emo. Because he's so new to the scene, he doesn't really have anything else on the charts. This is his first one.
Background.
Lucid Dreams was officially released March 13th, 2018. I say officially because it was originally released June 15th back in 2017 off of his mixtape 999. Back then, the song had an additional parenthetical title. The full thing was Lucid Dreams Forget Me. It originally charted at the beginning of June at number 74 and spent the greater part of the month going up 70 ranks to achieve currently number 4. The official release is off his debut studio album, which was released May 23rd, and we actually went over it on Record Rundown. Lucid Dreams is the second single off of the album, the first being All Girls Are the Same. They're riding my brain, love. And the third single,
Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me.
The song heavily relies on a sample that was taken from
I know that diamonds need money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart.
Specifically the main guitar line. Sample wasn't taken directly, just transcribed with different sounds. Because of the heavy use of the sample, both Dominic Miller and Sting, the writers for The Shape of My Heart, are credited as writers. Speaking of writers, Juice WRLD is listed as one, along with Nick Mira, who also did the production. Besides working with Juice WRLD, he does have an additional hit on the charts with Lucid Dreams is jointly released by Grade A and Interscope.
Form.
Lucid Dreams is considered an emo hip-hop song, is over 4 minutes long, in 4/4 time, in F-sharp minor, and 84 beats per minute. The song opens with the guitar sample, some yelling in the background, and Juice WRLD sounding sad about it. This then takes us to our first chorus.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you.
And then we have a really long and the only verse.
You left me falling and landing inside my grave.
He then gives us a bridge about his achy breaky heart.
You made my heart break. You made my heart ache.
Which takes us to the second and last chorus.
Easier said than done. I thought you were the one listening to my heart instead of my head.
And then we have the outro, which has filtered versions of what he sang before. The song ends with a sudden fade out with a lot of filtering on previously sung vocals as well as the guitar sample.
Everyone, I won't let you forget me.
Guitar.
The guitar opens with these arpeggiated figures spelling out the chords F-sharp minor, C-sharp minor, B minor, and then an implied, which is why the parentheses are there, C-sharp major chord at the end. We then get a bit more complicated with a B minor 7 chord, an A sus2 chord going to a C sharp major chord to a D9 chord with an F sharp sus4 G sharp and the bass chord before finally ending on an F sharp minor.
Bass.
Well, I can honestly say I wasn't expecting that one. The first phrase is really just this descending scalar figure started at F sharp and going to C sharp. As the bass continues, it deviates from the pattern, the next one going up before dropping back to C sharp, and the second one going towards the A as opposed to the C sharp. I understand that can be a bit hard, mostly because it's filtered, and if you don't have headphones on, you're gonna miss the bass anyway. So here it is, sped up and pitched up 2 octaves.
Chorus.
The chorus opens with these descending triplet figures.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you.
The beginning is then altered, and then he stays on those triplet figures for almost an entire bar and a half before ending at that low A.
It's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you.
We then get these 16th notes with 8th notes spattered about just to give it a bit more rhythmic flavor.
Easier said than done. I thought you were the one listening to my heart instead of my head.
He then repeats the same rhythmic idea but truncates it, choosing to end on 2 8th notes.
You found another one, but I am the better one. I won't let you forget me.
Verse.
Juice WRLD chooses to open his verse with these very melodic and rhythmically repetitive lines.
You left me falling and landing inside my grave. I know that you want me dead.
He then repeats the same idea, altering some of the notes, but the ending is slightly delayed to give it a bit more emotion.
I take prescriptions to make me feel A-okay. I know it's all in my head.
He then returns to the original incarnation of the lines he did before.
I have these lucid dreams where I can't move a thing, thinking of you in my bed.
Similarly, he repeats what he did in the second phrase, but this time there is no pause and chooses to hold the note before going to the delayed ending, rhythmically speaking.
You were my everything, thoughts of a wedding ring. Now I'm just better off dead.
Just like in the chorus, he then chooses to go for the 16th and 8th note figures.
I'll do it over again. I didn't want it to end. Now watch it blow in the wind. I should have listened to my friends.
He then repeats it with slight rhythmic alterations, but notice the ending. That X means it's an implied pitch because he kind of drops off when he just says it.
Leave this shit in the past, but I wanted to last. You were made out of plastic, fake.
He then simplifies the rhythm, choosing to go more on the beat, still doing that implied pitch once, but ends on the second phrase with a very identifiable pitch.
I was tangled up in your drastic ways. Who knew evil girls had the prettiest face?
He then continues to arguably simplify the rhythms, given there is that pause at the end just for that last bit of emotion.
You gave me a heart that was full of mistakes. I gave you my heart and you made heartbreak.
Bridge.
We then get these simplified rhythms that should be somewhat familiar in the bridge.
You made my heart break. You made my heart ache.
This phrase is comparatively unique because it ends on 2 quarter notes just simply going up. It makes it very clear and it makes it stand out a lot.
You made my heart break. You made my heart ache.
Regardless, this should all sound very familiar as it is just essentially what he did in the chorus, and I'll even overlap the two so you can see in terms of the sheet music.
You made my heart break. You made my heart ache.
At the end of the bridge, he finally finishes his sentence with this long, full bar of these 2 half notes doing that upward motion we've heard before.
You made my heart break again.
Like I said, I looked through this entire album because we did it on Record Rundown, and I had never heard emo hip-hop before. I'll be very interested to see if I ever get to look at another emo hip-hop song.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back the love that I gave you. It's to the point where I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you.
And cue the part in the podcast when I was singing this, and it sounded like I was doing Simple and Clean from Kingdom Hearts. Na 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 na.
Which, actually, the way you were singing that was definitely the Kingdom Hearts theme.
Easier said than done. I thought you were the one listening to my heart instead of my head. You found another one,